Okay, so first, I want to start off. What inspired the formation of Nighthämmer in 2023, and how did the band dynamic come together?
Um, it's a good question. I mean, it's simple. I became obsessed with music when I was a kid, and playing music's just something I have to do. Nighthämmer was I don't know, I just constantly like write riffs and records and stuff of different genres, but black metal has always been my most favorite music that I've discovered. And yeah, it's just a natural thing. I'm an extraordinarily angry and hateful person.
I can
And
understand that.
yeah, it just happens like that.
I mean, you can't go wrong with black metal. That's like my most favorite, so I know how you
A-
feel.
anything whose ethos is pretty much anti any trend, anything unnatural or like, inorganic, I'm into. They do it the best. It's the most interesting, uh, obviously in this weird like commercial world. Uh, somehow it's rebellious to say that like I don't like any of these general mainstream things. So it's like, yeah, it's a natural thing for me.
Yeah, you want to be different. That makes sense.
No, that's the thing is like I think people just naturally are, right? So I don't like the
Yeah,
homogenization. So yeah. I mean I don't disagree, but I don't want to be different. I just simply am the way that I am.
yeah. Okay. All right. And then for your upcoming album, Land of Fear,
Mm.
addresses dark themes like apocalypse and war. What are your main influences for these themes?
Yeah, I mean I you live in the world. It's really easy. You don't really have to go that far to find like fear and terror and hatred. Land of Fear is it's forgive me, it's like I haven't thought about it and talked about it because we completed the record in December of last year and then it came out in June.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just haven't really thought about it because we actually finished our newest record
Oh, that's
3 weeks
awesome.
ago. So that's like taking all over time. So I'm trying to like get myself back into the
Yeah.
Land of Fear like mindset. It's I mean it's essentially it's a an area, a space, a region that that exists currently. So it's under the guise of like science fiction or some sort of like weird alter universe. Um yeah, it's uh it's just dealing with different aspects of this homogenization that occurs, this like natural, like kind of fascist tendency that all civilizations have, where in order to obtain order, they have to terrify and sort of crucify any individuals that like do not want to be a part or that or just want to be themselves or whatever else. um yeah, under a banner of like join or die. It's that's a bad explanation for the record, but maybe I'll answer this in a different way in another question you have.
Okay, that's
But yeah.
fine. And then for the next one, can you talk about your creative process?
Yeah, I mean, what's an example of a creative process? Like I don't know how other people work in certain
Like I guess
ways.
what inspires you to huh, let me think. So what gives you ideas to create what you do? Like what that's a good question. Sorry, because my collaborators they want me to ask you these specific questions. So
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
can move on to the next one, you know?
No, I can help you with it. In
Yeah,
terms of
so
in terms of like the source of like where my creative process begins is essentially my lived experience. So, being robbed at gunpoint, breaking like 4 limbs,
yeah.
living in 2 other countries, traveling to many more, kind of just being encouraged to always discover things and try to rely on yourself in doing so. you know um that's where the inspiration always comes from. The inspiration comes from other people who have lived hundreds of years prior, and to try to kind of this is a weird word, transmogrify their stories into some sort of contemporary meaningful way. I obviously don't have an inkling of like the the terrible ways it was to like live in like a medieval age or whatnot.
Oh yeah.
However, I live in the Bay Area in California, and you can just walk like, into any part of the city and watch human beings like melting into the concrete
Like the
as
drug
people just like
addicts
kind of
and
live
all
their
that.
lives, and
Yeah,
it's medieval. It's fucking disgusting. So, I mean, history repeats itself, right?
it
Like
does.
nothing's really like brand new. So that's
No.
the inspiration comes from that. The inspiration comes from like identifying similar things, I guess, and deciding to tell a story about it.
Okay. That's a good response actually. And
Mm.
then how do ideas transform into songs? So pretty much based on what you said, like I guess how will you transform that into a song?
Yeah. Yeah, like any idea. I kind of yeah, it's a good question. The way that like ideas turn into song for me is it's not easy to answer. It's really simple though. You have speed, tempo, rhythm, and like mood, right? So these are the building blocks to just start. So
Yes.
depending on the feelings I have about something, usually, I mean, with Land of Fear, everything is pretty. The BPM on the record stays pretty consistently above like 150 BPMs, which is quite quick. And so it's basically finding inside of those like that modality to create essentially drama, right? You want to have an establishing sort of mood, and then from there you want to shift up or down, or perhaps stay the same, or whatever else. So it depends on what the idea is, but then finding what I think is the tempo of the ideas, the speed of the feeling, I guess, like the tempo of the feeling, and then
Yes.
you kind of just manipulate from there. And it's always good to entertain and then also to have a point. So that's where the drama or the dynamic of quiet, loud, starts, stops, crescendos, etc. So that's how I do it. I remember somebody asked like one of my I own a business, and one of my employees who's
Hmm.
also in bands asked me, he's like, dude, what are you thinking about when you write riffs? And it's just speed. It's just as fast as I can,
Yeah,
punching above my weight, and then kind of whatever shakes out and sounds really good will stay.
I like that. You can't go wrong with speed. Definitely not. Okay, and
Yeah, I
then
suppose not. I mean, like aggression's like a large part of it, so trying to capture that that's difficult. It's hard to
yeah,
do.
I prefer that, but I know what you mean. And then for
Mm.
my next question, how would you describe your sound compared to other black metal bands, and what sets you apart from the rest?
Yeah. It's very good. I mean, we're in like kind of the fourth wave of black metal, as it were.
Hmm.
The pandemic had a lot to do with that, keeping people inside, and so there's been a return to like that lo-fi element of it in the early 90s and then to late 90s, that for of the more obscure stuff. Zephyr and the dudes that didn't make the Mayhem group, you know what I mean, like those guys. It seems like a lot of the kids discovered them and then went back. So when it comes to Nighthämmer, it's funny because it was always going to be a solo project. It was always going to be a solo black metal thing,
Yeah.
which kind of you have to do lo-fi unless you know what you're doing. And then the second you emerge from not wanting to make a shitty sound or a necro sound or whatnot, it gets really dangerous, because then you can kind of, I mean, I think you were wearing like an Uwada shirt.
Hmm.
So yeah, these like, Uwada, Watain, Satanic War Master, these guys are the big dudes, and they buck a trend of black metal in that like everything is well produced. You can hear everything and it still remains like, pretty aggressive. I mean, Emperor obviously is the one that pulled black metal into that symphonic sort of hi-fi region. Nighthämmer is there. That's where we exist only because we've had the ability to work with my good friend Greg Wilkinson at Earhammer. He's obviously plays bass in Autopsy, but he's been in a plethora of other bands that are incredible, like Brain Oil and Deathgrave, and he's been honing his sound for the last like 30 years. His ability is incredible. Like you can't really, it'd be stupid to enter into like his studio and say, I want it to sound more shitty, even though I
Yeah.
prefer I prefer like a really like, you know, decayed aesthetic. I really prefer like a lo-fi black metal sound. So it's interesting. I'm at odds sometimes with Nighthämmer. But at the end of the day, it's the riffs. At the end of the day, it's the ideas and the fact that yeah, we combine. We're basically. I mean, Nighthämmer is set apart in as much as we break a few rules. There's D beat inside of our songs and our record. There's elements. We're mixing a couple of different genres of black metal, which to the cult virgins is like, you know, sacra not sacrificial. No, what? I can't remember the word. Anyway, it's like they hate that stuff, dude. They can't stand things that like are attempting to grow or whatnot. So I get it. But I think what sets Nighthämmer apart is, yeah, and with this next record is definitely the ability to cut a dynamic between the like big stage stuff, whacking open air shit, and you know, basement dwelling virgin stuff. Um, it's there. I don't know. I think it's weird.
So the best of both worlds, pretty much.
Yeah, and unintentionally, that's what I'm saying. Like unintentionally, I think we've
Yeah.
we've carved a weird tone or a weird tonality where you're reminded, I think, of like the better sounding, more hi-fi stuff without losing any like evil sounding shit. Um, it's a three-piece too. It's like too few people for black metal. Usually it's always five, seems.
Yeah. At least
With the
right.
exception, yeah, yeah, with the exception of like Darkthrone, obviously. Um, Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Yeah, that I mean, it's a hard question to ask right now. Like, I think I had it prepared or ready because I was thinking about it a lot for Land of Fear. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think and this is gonna sound shitty, maybe if anybody cares, but one thing that sets us apart is that we're just playing smarter than all of the black metal people. There's an insane amount of imagery and iconography in the art as well as in the lyrical content that is fun and is pretty pretty referential. I mean, it's not a James Joyce level thing, but not a single word is spoken on the record that doesn't have some sort of like double alter meaning. Um, the concept of Land of Fear as well, now that I'm thinking about it again, is that like it's kind of an anti-identity record. Um, People don't mean anything. We really don't, and we don't like that. And I think that's why we like kind of struggle all the time because we always want to find meaning and purpose. And when we find our meaning and purpose, and we have a job or whatever, we do everything in our power to belittle that. But we won't ever accept the fact that we're just worm food. There's nothing special about any of us. Sorry. There's nothing special about where you're from. There's nothing special about like the language you speak or the food you eat. You create that. And so you have to kind of ask yourself, like, what's more important? Is it my creation or my ability to identify with this thing? Because if you would like to just join rank and assimilate to whatever that thing is, be it your own culture, it's like, congratulations, go ahead. It's meaningless. Um, so yeah, the thing that sets us apart is definitely a different kind of, it's almost, it's going to be bad, but I don't care. It's kind of anti-indigenous, or the idea that that means anything other than, oh, I was born in a single, I was born in a place. Yeah, there's an entire like cult, bourgeoisie, royalty that has the divine right of kings where I was born into this family and that's what makes me great. We do the same thing on the lower levels. Like it's ridiculous and stupid and petty. So yeah, that's what sets us apart. We
That's
hate
true, though.
everything and we think there's nothing is sacred. Fuck these people.
I could agree with that. Some people think they're better, you know.
Yeah.
And then for my next question,
Mm.
what challenges have you faced as an independent band in today's music industry?
I will say none, only because I've been in other bands and have made inroads doing that stuff. So now as Nighthämmer, everything's really easy. Uh, the other thing is that we kind of refuse to play unless the situation is right, unless it's like special, unless somebody gives a shit and we get paid. So it's one of those things that we're going to continue to put out music and we're going to continue to kind of push and hopefully it stirs people. I feel that I feel that it has in a much bigger way than I thought because I mean we self-released our record, had Inferno Profundus put out our tapes. I have like 10 records left and there's no reason for anybody outside of Oakland to know who we are. So I feel really good about that. But again, this isn't really about fame or about being well known. Yeah, when you were asking about like why Nighthämmer, why black metal, it's like I simply gotta,
Hmm.
you know,
That's cool though. Yeah, it's something that you like doing and you're gonna continue doing.
yeah, yeah, for my own reasons too.
Yeah.
For yeah,
And express yourself and then whatever you come up with, you create something out of it. So that's awesome.
yeah. Did you listen to the record at all?
I did. I actually did like it. I liked the first song. I forgot the name because I heard it like the
Flat
when
Fair.
you it. Yeah. But it's really good. I did
Yeah.
enjoy it. I was at the gym today and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to the whole thing. So I just like played it off of it. So
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
it helped me with my workout.
Dude, right on. That rules. That's actually super
Yeah. Yeah, because
tight.
I like to listen to like heavy and like speed. And then I really did enjoy the third song too. I don't remember the name. I just remember like the introduction. But yeah,
Yeah. It's
good too.
Hell to the Wolf. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. Okay, and then off to my
Dude,
next.
hell yeah, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then let me see. Sorry. Oh yeah.
Did
Oh, yeah.
yeah, there's a riff in Pelt to the Wolf. The third song, the song that you're talking about,
Hmm.
there's like a riff in it where when I wrote it, it's kind of the middle of the song. I swore it was like a Dark Throne riff and like or some sort of like some sort of discarded demo. And I
Yeah.
spent like 6 months
Oh,
like
really?
scouring my entire collection. I was like, dude, I've definitely like plagiarized this riff, but
It happens though, not like music is not really original. It's something that's probably already been played before. You
yeah,
know? So it's like, I mean, there's a lot of bands out there, I'm sure you're gonna hear like a
yeah,
similar riff or like sound. Okay, and
yeah.
then I mean, you kind of already answered this question, but I'm gonna just ask away. But do you have any tour plans or concerts scheduled for like, I guess your most recent album or demo? And if
Yeah,
so, where would you like to
yeah,
perform?
yeah. I mean, we want in terms of like where we would like to play, we want to do the sexy gigs. We want to do like the festivals and we want to play like whacking and stuff like that. We
Yeah,
want to go right there only because my other two members, we have a fourth who will be joining us for live shows, who does join us for live shows. And it's one of those things where we put a lot of work into what we do and we can do it very quickly. So when it comes to playing shows, having full stage presence, audio with visual
yeah,
is important. And the only place you really want to do that is kind of
at a
the
venue.
bigger clubs,
Yeah.
bigger venues, stuff like, 1,000+ venues, I guess. So, I mean, that's kind of it. I mean, for me, I think one of the coolest shows that I could play would be the Fire in the Mountains festival they have in Wisconsin, in Wyoming. They do it like the base of the Tetons. I just think I don't know if do you know that? Do you know that festival at all?
No, I've never heard about it. Tell me more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's only I mean they've been struggling with it for a few years, but I think it's in like its fifth year, and it's 2 days that at the base of the Tetons, which is a mountain range in Wyoming in the United States, and it's just like this. It's a wide open American plain with mountains and Jackson Lake and stuff like that. Like it's a really picturesque sort of spot.
Nature.
Um, yeah, and it's like, but so there, all it is it's like one stage erected in a giant, massive field at the base of a mountain. That's pretty sick.
That's
That's
pretty dope.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I would
exactly.
go to that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, that's the whole
Yeah.
thing. It's like I would go to it too, and I want to play it. I mean, it'd be amazing. Like I like those sorts of shows. Obviously, like I'm an older dude, so I'm like really jaded. So when it comes to like shows, like the weirder the venue, the better it is. I'd love to play in a catacomb. I'd love to play like there's like some sort of cave in Germany that they have a festival at, and it's like I want to play there. Um, I mean any place that I could sort of like
That's out of the
look
norm,
at,
pretty much, right?
yeah, look at the night sky or like see a dead body
Yeah,
or like anything like that would probably be the best place to be able to play. I'd get pumped from that for sure.
yeah. That sounds really exciting though. Like that would
Yeah,
be cool. Like I would totally go to that. I
yeah.
mean,
Dude,
I would fucking go to that.
yeah, man. I mean, it looks cool as hell. I mean, have you seen there's another famous venue in I think it's in Utah or Arizona. I can't remember. It's like Red Rocks. Maybe it's Colorado.
Oh, I think it's
But it's
Arizona.
called
I
sorry,
think
say it again.
I said I think it's Arizona. If you mentioned Red Rocks, unless you're referring to like the
Yeah.
Red Canyon in Nevada, there's one there too. But yeah, anyway, sorry.
That yeah, it's we know, yeah. So it's like the Red Rocks is like it's a stage, an amphitheater stage built at the base of like this little like canyon or whatever. And like it's yeah, you're just like in this giant, red rock canyon, and all they have are like the stage lights and the seats and shit. But it's like, outdoor venues like that,
Yeah,
weird, out of the way places to get to. Super cool.
I know you could enjoy like the nature and like the night. That sounds super cool. But you should look into that.
Yeah.
I'm sure sometimes they're like looking for people, and sometimes they need help.
Yeah.
Huh?
But they have like artists, they have like Dolly Parton play there and stuff. They have
Oh,
like mainstream people play there, and
yeah,
which is fine. I mean, that's the mainstream, the world's so weird. Like the mainstream stuff that's that gets played and that
but
gets to play in
played in
those
the radio
places.
pretty much like that.
Yeah, I don't know. The kids listen to it's just streaming, right? Like they listen to
Yeah,
Spotify and they like that 𝓑𝓻𝓾 Rowan lady or whatever, and you're just like, I don't know, man. I don't get it. I'm never gonna get it. I didn't get it when I was like 12 years old,
yeah,
and I don't get it now. So yeah, it's like hard to play places like that because people were like extreme music. It just doesn't have a draw. Which you're okay. So I think you're in Europe, or yeah,
no, I'm actually in California.
you're in California.
Yeah,
Oh.
I was literally just in Oakland like last weekend for Sodom.
Dude, did you wait? Did you get you didn't? Yeah, at Death Fest.
Yeah,
Did you get pizza at all?
I got on Friday there was like a pre-fest. So
Uh-huh.
there was like on that venue, I forget the name, but it was in San Francisco, I think.
DNA Lounge.
So right like up the street, I was like hungry as fuck. They stopped selling food at the bar and I was fucking angry. Some girl was like, "Oh, there's a pizza spot in the corner." Tell me why that
Yeah.
was the best fucking pizza I've had. It was
Damn. Okay. Hey, from DNA? That's
I
crazy.
don't remember the name of it, but the pizza was really good out there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no,
Yeah.
I was gonna say because because I own a pizza restaurant called Hesher's Pizza, and it's obviously like my aesthetic. But yeah, we just had almost the entirety of Death Fest like come down the street, like come down Broadway, like 8 blocks,
Oh
and
shoot. So
yeah,
it was
everybody
like
was having a
so
good time. It was
if I had
sick.
known I would have gone. I mean, I might go back again. We'll see, but like I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, that's sick, dude. Yeah, yeah. I mean, what did you think of Oakland?
It was cool. It reminds me a lot of LA actually. Like certain
Oh,
parts. Well, it depends like where I stayed at. I don't even remember where I stayed at because I was always like on Ubers. But I liked it. It was
yeah,
nice, especially where they did the festival. That area was really nice. I liked it. I mean, there's a
amazing.
lot of
Yeah.
homeless, but there's homeless in LA too, so it's like it's not any better, you know? It's like the usual. I felt like I
You
was,
know, it's funny. Wait, so are you in LA now?
yeah, I'm in Burbank, but yeah, I'm in LA. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny. We switched. I was in LA last weekend or the Death Fest weekend.
Oh, really?
I was doing yeah, I was doing a podcast and then I was like eating mushrooms out in the desert with my buddy after
Oh,
that. I was in LA and then we went to like Joshua Tree and Big Bear.
oh, Joshua
And
Tree
then yeah,
also.
yeah, yeah. It was super fun. So
Did
that's
you go?
amazing, dude. Yeah.
It is. Did you go exploring like in the, well, I mean, there's a lot of places to explore, but did you go exploring in the nighttime? It's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's fantastic. I
Yeah,
mean,
I love it there.
especially under the influence is always like really nice too. So
Yeah, and you
yeah,
can
it's
actually see the stars.
say it again.
I said you could actually see the stars because you know how it's like pitch black, like dark.
Yeah, than light pollution or whatever. Yeah. So it's like LA is like a real place. LA is a real city. It's really like it's I you're like, I like Oakland, and it reminds me of LA. It's like, man, people are not as cool in Oakland as they are in LA. Like LA, like people are like really nice. They like
Yeah.
actually want to like be there and live there. Everybody's got homeless spots or whatever, but like, yeah, I had like culture shock because I had not left town in a long time.
Yeah.
And so when I like left, I remember I went to get a coffee one morning, and like people were like actually happy. They were like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was like, "Whoa, blown away." Because everybody in Oakland's just miserable. They're all just like, I don't know,
Like in their own
self-obsessed
city.
in their own fucking world for no reason. Like, it's a small place too. There's like in Oakland, there's like 400,000 people. It's nothing.
Really? I wasn't
And then yeah.
like to
Sorry, go ahead.
I said I wasn't there long enough to notice that,
Yeah.
I was there to party, so like I was partying,
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's a
Yeah.
good spot for that. And there's cool people, and like the people at Death Fest, like, yeah, dog.
Yeah.
That's
The vibe was pretty cool. I
good
enjoyed it.
shit.
Okay, so let me ask you another question. Um,
Yeah.
how do you respond to critiques and feedback on your music, especially with such a thematic album?
Yeah. Um, everybody's been really kind. Everybody that's listened to it has been really kind. Like, so I haven't really received any like shitty feedback. I wouldn't really care either way. I'm like appreciative of people like I'm more appreciative of people that like listen to it and they just legitimately like it and they don't know anything to say about it. I'm like, that's great. It's fantastic. This is good. Um, but like, oh, we wanted to get on the black metal promotions. I think that's it, the YouTube channel or whatever.
Yeah.
And we submitted it, and the guy was just like, it's just too much thrash and D beat for the channel. And I was like,
Wow.
yeah, I was like, don't ever listen to Venom or Bathory. Like,
Yeah.
ever don't listen to Dark Throne. Like, don't listen to black metal, essentially is what it is. It's like your name is Black Metal Promotions. And yeah, I mean, they have a lot of like symphonic dog shit on there or whatever, but
Yeah.
I was like, it hurt my feelings. So I was like, dude, this is better than the shit that you guys usually put out.
Wow. No, but yeah, I guess they're very particular about what they want on their YouTube channel.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like there's so much garbage, I guess. I'm always surprised. I thought they would just be like it seems like they publish so much stuff on their site
Yeah.
that I just assumed it was like if it's black metal it'll be all right, but like it's a very specific German run sort of
Oh, wow.
exhibition, yeah. So that's
And
it. And even then it's like it's I think it's funny. It's like a joke now. Um yeah, we were recording and Greg's like, "Are you guys sure you want to put this much D beat on the record?" And it's like, yeah, the black metal promotions thing.
well, you don't have to bother with them.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
another question for you. Are there any collaborations or artists you would like to work with in the future?
Yeah, a ton. Um, a lot. I always like I think it'd be sick to have Fenriz do vocals over any track of um there's this guitarist from Japan, Yoitani. He's incredible. It's so weird. Like he's the one of the best guitarists I've ever seen, but also like when I say best, people usually confuse that with technicality. He is technically savvy beyond anybody that I've seen, but all of his music or his soloing is like, dude, it's virtually excellent. Like, and not technically. I mean, like he's like an actual guitarist, artist, songwriter guy, which is very rare. You very rarely get technical dudes that can like make interesting music. So Yoatani be one. Um, I think it'd be there's a bunch of stuff. I mean, I'd love to like Greg's, he's the engineer and producer of the records and stuff and a good friend of mine, but like I would love to be in a band with that dude. And I would love to do, I don't even know what we do, but that'd be really fun. In terms of Nighthämmer, what else? Okay, Yoitani, Fenriz. Um, I'd like to, I mean, I think Makawahito is like a big favorite of mine. Are you familiar with Makawahito?
No, tell me more about him. It's a male, right?
Shit, dude, really? Yo, I mean, at the altars, yeah, altars of 𝓑𝓬𝓪𝓵 is like the first record. He had a couple of demos before that, and it's a goatware release. I mean, he's yeah, amazing. I like he infuses kind of like this really excellent you know, it's wild. I mean, it's Mexican indigenous stuff, but he just does it better than everybody else. It's super violent. His vocals are good. He's like a songwriter as well. So beyond it being like just heavily aggressive and like really, kind of like aurally damaging, he still like writes songs, which is like super rare. So it's a lo-fi element to it, but the form is just incredible. I would love to have like to work with a song uh with him. That'd be sick. To work on a song with him would be awesome. Makawito will be one.
Does
I
he
know
have?
𝓑𝓼𝓾. I think 𝓑𝓼𝓾's cool.
Yeah,
Be a cool ass dude. I don't know. Yeah, that's probably it.
I know it makes you happy to think about that, right?
Yeah, dude, you have got to listen to Makawito.
Yes, can you send me like a
Yeah.
link on or something?
Yes.
Also,
Yeah.
give me
You
one
get
quick
it.
moment.
Yeah, you gotta. All right.
Okay. And then for the last question that I have for you, how do you perceive the evolution of the black metal genre, and where do you think Nighthämmer fits into that evolution?
We're at the tip of the spear. We're tip of the spear. Simply because of what I was saying, where it's like we're trying to cut it. We instead of the arc of demos, lo-fi, studio, better produced stuff, we've just started at a more hi-fi sort of level. And I think with the way I feel about it, the genre mixing that we do, the songs that I write, are a response to me listening to black metal for 30 years and writing things that I want to hear. I'm inspired by a lot of stuff, but like the way that Nighthämmer is, it's like these are riffs and elements that I always want to find that aren't really there. So I really do feel that Nighthämmer is uh a good next step for this type of black metal, whatever that, I guess whatever that subgenre would be.
Yeah.
Um, I do really feel like tip of the spear with it, especially. I mean, the next record we have is called 𝓑𝓼𝓾𝓪. It's another kind of concept record, and there are heavy metal elements that it's evocative of like Isengard, if you're familiar with Fenris's Isengard. Like there's elements of it that are like kind of heavy metal, but it stays black metal. It's extraordinarily fast, and we kind of just go deeper and darker, and we pull out like weird heavy metal riffs that I'm very proud of. And I gotta say, I don't know any other band that is trying to mix dude. I grew up listening to like Merciful Fate, King Diamond, Iron Maiden, all that, all the best shit, right?
Yeah.
I grew up listening to it. It comes out in the music. So I don't know anybody else right now that's like really interested in trying to carve a new black metal path, I guess. So yeah,
They just want to
that's I
sound
feel.
like
Yeah.
typical black metal.
Say it again.
I said that a lot of bands, they just want to sound like the typical black metal that you would listen to, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, that's cool. Tribute's like really cool. I like it. However, like you have to reach like a Burzum level or a Dark Throne level or any black metal that came before, you have to reach that level first to do the lo-fi shit and then go better. Because if it's just there and then kind of like hovers and
Yeah,
stays at that level, what's the point, dude?
it's true.
I'll just go back and listen to the old records. Like I don't want to fucking listen to new records that sound like my old records because one, they don't sound as good. Two, like they're not as cool or as interesting as those dudes. Three, it's imitation, not like original sort of stuff. So I don't know. There's a billion black metal bands coming out a minute, and yeah, a lot of them, like you say, they just want to sound and look black metal. They want to go in the forest and wear makeup
Yeah.
and kind of contemplate the orb and shit. It's
Yeah, the
like,
polls.
yeah, dude, they want to hold candelabras. They
Yeah.
want to figure out like whatever else. It's like, yeah, that's cool. I like it. I like the aesthetic. However, let's make it interesting, you know?
True.
So,
I agree with that.
yeah, dude. I mean, it's funny. I like there's the second wave, the what, the third, no, fourth wave of black metal stuff, like happening in like 2019 with Goatware, like that. There was some really good, really good bands. Like I said, 𝓑𝓼𝓾 and 𝓑𝓾 𝓑𝓻𝓾. There were some really good bands, but now there's like
A
9
lot more.
billion.
Like
Yeah,
a
there's
lot.
too
There's like
many,
a lot I haven't even heard of, but
dude.
I mean, I'm sure
Too
there's
many.
one that's good out of the many that are out there, you know?
Yeah.
I look, but it's too much listening.
What have you been listening to lately in terms of black metal?
Um, just like Forgotten Woods. I've been hooked on Forgotten Woods and that one Mexican band that I was telling you about,
Yeah,
the 𝓑𝓼𝓾𝓽.
I
Can I
hear you.
say it?
Yeah,
That Sabbath.
nice.
Yeah, just like I guess like the ones that everybody knows, unless you're
Yeah.
referring to like underground bands, because I haven't really.
Ye-
And then I would say your music too.
Hey man, yeah, dude, keep listening. Yeah, hell yeah.
I
I
will.
like obscurity doesn't mean that it's good. People always make that mistake where it's like if it's obscure, it's somehow better. It's like it's not.
No,
Sorry everybody. It's like just because you found a band, uh, if they're good, that's great. But usually obscurity doesn't indicate any sort of talent or anything like that. So I don't know.
no, it doesn't. I mean, it
Hopefully,
varies, you know.
yeah, hopefully Nighthämmer kind of gets out of there and we become more well known, but we'll see. I mean, it's not why I do it, but we're gonna keep going, baby.
I think they will, because the music's really good, so
Mhm.
they will.
I'll
You
I'll
will.
send you I'll send you the new record too if you'll
All
listen to
right.
it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
All
you
right.
can get it as long as you promise not to show anybody. It's like you can get a taste
Oh, okay, then I won't send it to nobody. I used to get
of
that
the
like back in the days, when I had like acquaintances, because they're not my friends no more. Actually, let
yeah.
me stop this.